In every generation, two Prose are born. Chosen to watch every episode of Buffy and tell you what they think about them. This is the Prose Visit Sunnydale. Season 2.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. I am Geoff.
I'm Eddie Cruz.
And today we are doing Season 2, Episode 6, the Halloween episode.
It's Halloween. It's super spooky time.
Very spooky.
Yeah, I like it. It was super spooky. It was like the scariest episode of anything I've ever seen. Today we have a very, 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 very special guest with us sitting in the guest chair.
Wasn't Joey a special guest too? Wasn't he a super special guest?
Yeah, he was in. MJ was like super duper special too.
Okay.
I mean, we always have special guests.
Yeah.
They're always special.
Okay.
Anyway, Xana Cardoso.
Hello.
Hey, Xana.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. So, Xana, you're big into Buffy, right?
I am now.
Xana, Geoff, and I used to live together in a house.
But we all used to watch Buffy. Well, at least we would watch Buffy, Eddie, you and I.
Yeah, and Xana would ridicule us to high end about watching Buffy.
Yeah, but I feel like I would ridicule you when when Geoff and I were still living together and you would come over and you guys would just watch Buffy all day, and then Geoff would buy a new season. You'd be like super excited and you guys would both be super excited about it. And then, I think once we all moved in together, I was a little more like...
It was just like one time where
shit.
you were like, you would come home after work and you'd be like, I need to unwind. And it'd be like, sit on the couch for like an hour, and slowly but surely we'd start putting on Buffy and like just
Sucked
walk
in.
away.
It creeped in.
Yeah.
Can I say this? I got made fun of less by people who had stabbed and been stabbed by other people than you.
Stabbed and been
Yeah,
stabbed?
cholos.
Yeah.
Cholos
Would make less fun of you for
liking
watching
Buffy. Yes.
Cholos that, straight up stabbed
Yeah.
people and were stabbed, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they made fun of me
They
less.
were more open
They were
with
like,
him watching Buffy than you were.
Yeah.
You're his childhood friend.
I'd be all like, I gotta leave, guys. I gotta watch Buffy. And they're like, oh, you really like that show. You leave every week at the same time. They're like, is it cool? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. You give us
Yeah.
more shit than them. Yeah. Anyway, but now you love the show
I do.
because you ended up watching it and you ended up doing what we did, which is being very, very happy that Geoff bought every single season of Buffy.
Yeah, and it's great because by the time I was really into it, the show was already done and Geoff had every single season. So I
Yeah.
could just binge watch them all the way through.
Which was expensive. I mean, you guys bought me some of them.
Yeah, they
but-
were super expensive.
Yeah.
By the time I bought them, they were like $10 a season.
I remember how happy I was to buy you season 1 compared to anything else because it was way cheaper. It was only like $20 compared to the rest of them, which were all 38, 40.
Yeah, they were expensive.
I thought I remember being like 45, 50.
No, they were they were around there.
When they
I
first
remember
came
them
out,
being a lot.
And it was so cool to open it up and you're like, oh, these CDs, we're going to use these forever.
I don't think they work anymore.
I bet you
Really?
they don't.
I'm going to have to see if they do.
You have to get like a really good CD player to play old CDs.
Oh, man.
Or a DVD player, sorry.
So, Shanna,
Yes.
what do you like about Buffy?
I love the dialogue. I think it's very witty and entertaining, and it's like cheesy and quirky and cute, and I get really emotionally invested with all the characters, like after season 1. And
I mean, it's pretty easy to get invested.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the characters are lovable.
It's kind of relatable, was ever the popular. I was like the loser in school.
Were you?
Sure. Loser stoner.
I think that you were, like, if you were going freaks and geeks, you were a freak, not a geek.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess none of us were Cordelia.
No, we're not Cordelia.
Actually, I feel like I was the most like Cordelia of the three of us.
I'm glad you think that.
Sure.
Oh man,
You don't have that ass in spandex, though.
I
No.
do now.
Oh, no. Pictured that. No.
Oh man. Anyway, so we're in the Halloween episode, the super spooky Halloween episode.
So what is that shit about? What happens?
All right,
in that?
well, we start out the bronze, and we start out with Angel, and Angel's sitting down, and Cordelia comes up and tries to take him to the big leagues, but he's like, no, I'm good. I'm waiting for Buffy. Buffy comes in and does that thing she always does, is just assumes the worst, starts walking out. Angel finds her at the entrance.
Which is kind of fucked up because they had a date, right? It was
Yeah.
a planned date, and then Buffy was like, "Oh, I see him talking to Cordelia, and I'm just gonna bail." That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah, it's very immature. So basically, that gets resolved pretty quickly, and you find out that there's still like, he's still courting her, and she's still like is young, and she's standoffish. Then we cut to the next day at school. You see Principal Snyder going around to every single student and asking them to sign up for a, I guess, voluntary Halloween trick-or-treating night.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
forced volunteering.
Yeah,
of
so
the
he's just
students.
grabbing kids and going, you're volunteering. And then you get 3 kids, you take them out on Halloween between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. and bring them back in one piece.
That's such a weird. What kind of? I don't know. It's
I
a
have-
weird program.
I mean, let's just stop and talk about that real quick. Let's say you're 17 years old. What are you doing in high school at that point? Like, I was desperately finding bums and giving them $20, trying to get like 40s, as many 40s. How much King Cobra can get 20 bucks to buy me? Give it to a bum and be like, here's one for you.
Do you remember when you're like, you found that cool bum? And you're like, oh, this
Yeah,
bum's cool.
Maurice, dude. Yeah, his name was Maurice. He had an apartment.
Was he the guy
He
that
had
sold
an
the hemp
apartment?
necklaces?
Yeah.
No, that was Jimmy. Jimmy sold the hemp
here's
necklaces
the thing.
outside of Sun Harvest.
Yeah, his name was really Jimmy, but we just called him Maurice.
Maurice?
Because it was way cooler and we didn't know his name.
Some
Yeah.
people call me Maurice. Woo, woo.
So we called him Maurice. Anyway, so on Halloween, we would do horrible things. I definitely would not have trusted me to be in charge of 3 small children.
I wouldn't either.
And particularly in Sunnydale, where it's known for deaths and weird things happening, these parents are just going to say, yeah, go hang out with these fucking 17-year-olds and do whatever. I think that's even more dangerous.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck's up
absolutely.
with these parents?
That really are these. I feel like it's a community of really delusional people.
Yeah,
maybe they
absolutely.
just don't read the newspaper at all, or maybe the newspaper doesn't even publish these horrible
And
things.
Snyder is like purposely
The
picking
Sunnydale
out,
Press?
Yeah.
The Sunnydale Press. Snyder is purposely and deliberately picking out the worst students to take care of these kids too. Well, at least who he thinks to be the worst students.
Well, he doesn't like kids.
Nope. He hates kids. All right, so then we cut to costume shop. Everybody's getting their costume, and you see costume, I guess, salesman? Mm-hmm. The proprietor of the costume store, if you will. Ethan Rains, who we don't know who he is. We don't know anything about him. And everybody buys a costume there, right?
Well, everybody...
Except for Cordelia.
Cordelia doesn't. Buffy sees this, I guess, this 17th century, 18th century dress, supposedly. It looks like a shitty Disney princess dress. Like the
Yeah.
kind you would pay $40 and put on your 4-year-old. That's what that looks like to me.
Basically, they went to the costume department and were like, we need a dress by tomorrow or like in 4 hours. Can you put together something for like a Disney dress? And they did it. And it was very, very run-of-the-mill.
And Willow buys a ghost sheet.
Yeah.
Does she buy the sheet there?
She had to have.
She buys the ghost. It's like a ghost packet, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing, actually.
Oh, and then Xander buys the toy gun at the costume shop.
He buys the toy gun there. He buys the rest of his outfit at a
Army surplus
surplus,
store.
Yeah. All right, so you hit Halloween, and all of a sudden there's this kind of back and forth between them dressing up. Willow also is super slutty under her sheet.
Not super slutty, but like,
For Willow.
yeah.
All right, for her, it's I mean, she's
More revealing, I would say.
I would say that, yeah, incredibly revealing. That was like pretty much a bathing suit top with sleeves.
Like in high school, you might get sent home.
Oh, you
For
would
sure,
totally
you would
get
definitely
sent
get
home.
sent home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even for the skirt length.
Yeah, absolutely. For both of those things. Anyway, she looks super great. She hides from Xander. They decide to go out. They pick up the kids. Everything's going as planned. They're cutting back and forth between that and a guy doing a ritual to the head of chaos, I guess, in Greek mythology.
I'm not sure.
It's like woman in the front, man in the back. So he's doing this, like, I guess, seance of some sort. Mm-hmm. He puts a bunch of things on. He starts sweating profusely from reading because that book material is just so intense.
It's hot in that Halloween store.
And what the outcome is everybody turns into whatever costume they were wearing as long as it was purchased in this store.
Maybe.
Well, that's for you to argue.
Yes.
Okay, so Geoff doesn't agree with this for two reasons. Number one, Xander only bought the toy gun at the store. The rest of his costume was bought outside of the store. And Cordelia didn't buy hers at the store, so she doesn't turn at all. Willow bought hers there because she says she did.
Okay, she said she did?
Yeah, she said she did to Giles.
Okay.
Later. She's like, we all got our costumes at this store. So
I guess that,
has to be at
implies.
some point she bought the sheet.
We
that
just
said boo.
didn't see it happen.
Yeah, we just didn't see it
there.
at all. Yeah.
I just have an issue, and maybe it's just me. The way Xana explained it earlier. So Xander bought his gun at the store.
But he
and
had the
because
gun
he
in
touched
his
it.
hand.
Yeah. But the weird thing is, he got a gun. He could have been anything, right? But he bought those fatigues. It's more about the fatigues for me that turn him into who he is, not the gun. He could have been, some, instead of an army man, like some, I don't know, redneck militia. He could have been some like foreign invader. He could have been anything else, but he wasn't. He was what his costume was, which he bought it elsewhere. And that's my argument.
I don't
Maybe
know why,
the
but
toy gun was like a replica of some standard issue military weapon or
That
something.
shit did not look like a shitty toy gun.
I don't know why, but when you were talking about that, I just like kind of switched over to Friday when Craig's dad's telling him, he's like, you feel like a man with that gun? And he's like, I'm a man without it. I don't know why. But that's where my head went to.
I'm going to currently stop listening to Geoff and think about the movie Friday because he said gun.
I gotta say that for the replica thing, I think that's a no-go considering that little like red piece at the end of it.
Well, and
Also, and it was like a foot
yeah,
long.
like did you notice that the toy gun turned into like this
Gigantic
like I don't
Rambo
know, like
gun?
yeah,
Yeah, like an M.
some
I'm not gonna
some
pretend like I
automatic
know.
rifle.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to chalk that up to a mistake in the show. They didn't think that out carefully enough. I don't know, that's fine.
I'm gonna go ahead and play devil's advocate and say that I'm not counting that as a mistake, and just saying that anything from there is a trinket that has spelled or has a spell on it.
But you understand where I'm coming from,
I get where
right?
you're coming from. The intention of the fatigues are what make that an army person. I totally understand. Buffy turns into a damsel in distress because she wore this like princess dress. She forgets who she is. Xander forgets who he is. Willow turns into a ghost who's dressed really hot, just super hot. But she's see-through, and I guess nobody can see her, or people can see her.
Yeah,
No.
people were able to see her.
Yeah.
Then why did nobody at the end of the episode like say anything about that?
I don't know. Did they bring that up in later episodes? I don't remember.
Nobody says anything to her about the way she was dressed in any way, shape, or form there.
I guess what I would think about that is there's so much other shit going on that, would they really even mention that?
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess Xander really doesn't like her to the point where even her dressing up sexy wouldn't help.
I mean, it's kind of a good metaphor. No matter what, she's invisible. She could be wearing a sexy outfit, but to Xander and other people, she's invisible.
All right. After that happens, chaos happens. All the kids turn into little demons, little cute little demons with huge horns.
Which I loved.
What else happened? Oh, Spike.
Oh yeah.
Spike is curious enough to go out on Halloween, even though nothing's happening. Normally on Halloween is like, I guess, their day of rest for demons or whatnot. So he decides to go out, and at first he's just like, well, isn't this fun? And soon he realizes it's a perfect opportunity to get an upper hand on the Slayer.
How does he end up finding the Slayer? Like, how do they end up...
door to door? Well, remember, he becomes like the king of the little demon people.
Yeah, the little demon people. But
he finds them, and then...
And is he purposely trying to find the Slayer, or is he just like, oh, this is fucking neat, let's go fuck up the town, and runs into her?
I think that's more
okay.
Because that's what I assumed.
I remember her, she was like in an alley or something, about to be raped by the pirate, and then like he appears with the band of like children demons.
Yeah, a bunch of things happen in the chaos. Buffy almost gets raped by a pirate, for one. Xander and Angel come off to be the heroes. Angel turns into a vampire, scaring Buffy off. She runs off and gets caught by Spike. He's about to bite her. Giles finds Ethan at the costume shop, and it turns out that Giles is fucking really mean or something, or like really good at...
Oh yeah, what was
like
his
tactics.
name?
I don't know.
Ripper.
Good old Ripper. So he threatens Ethan until Ethan decides to tell him to break the statue, that chaos statue.
He like beats the shit out of him.
He
and
beats
kicks
him.
him.
Yeah, he's like waterboarding
then
him.
cleans
for like
his
hours.
glasses.
Yeah, he's just like a total badass. So Ripper terrorizes Ethan until he breaks the thing. The spell's released. Buffy turns back into Buffy. Beats the shit out of Spike. All the kids start crying.
I didn't see. Did Spike just run away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Potato Kid is no longer a potato.
There's this one kid dressed like a potato, and we're just saying that he just turned into a potato and fell on the ground. Little potato with eyes. It has those little googly eyes. Just like reminiscent of the witch episode. Yeah, so that's pretty much the episode. At the end of that, everybody comes back. Spike's beaten. They all have a happy, merry day.
Yeah, you see,
And you see
Buffy and Angel back at Buffy's house, which... Okay, so Joyce is nowhere to be seen during this episode, and especially not when this man is just laying in Buffy's bed.
Right.
They have a conversation about what kind of girls Angel liked, because the whole reason why Buffy wanted to do this royalty princess outfit is because she assumed that's what Angel liked back in the day. He said he didn't, which later on in the series we'll find out that's true, among other things about Angel.
Yeah. Maybe he liked them too much and got bored. Yeah, it's kind of weird. That whole scene, what do you think about this, Xana? Like, the creepiness of a 250-year-old hitting up on a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know about that. What would they really have in common?
Yeah, to the point where she doesn't even understand the Victorian era.
Yeah.
To a point where she just thinks that everything's about dresses and happiness and stupidity. And
Well, we know Buffy's not good at school. Like,
yeah,
she's not studying. She's fighting vampires. She didn't know shit about shit.
No.
Yeah. So what is it about Buffy that Angel's into?
Young vagina.
You said it. Young vagina.
Young vagina.
Well, I still think it's my theory is it has less to do with her and more the fact that he's still a vampire. Vampires and slayers have this connection. Mm-hmm. Since he doesn't want to kill her, doesn't have the urge, he still have these feelings, which I think are turning into either lust or attraction. There's always going to be that attraction there somehow in some form.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, and now he's like the reformed vampire. He's like the good vampire, and he doesn't kill, and he only feeds on rats or whatever. Which is getting into like a whole other...
Can I ask you guys a question? Going off the Halloween thing, what would be the worst costume that you've worn in your life that you would have been caught in this night?
I was a Disney princess once.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, like as far as like
the worst one, like if like out of all your costumes, what would be a shitty one to be? For Tony, I could say it would be an actual piece of shit.
I remember that one.
Or a terrorist. Remember when he was a terrorist?
He was Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, I was in Korea.
It was a girl once, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a Slayer, so if I was a girl and a Slayer, that'd be pretty cool. But, I don't know.
I would say that child-sized Spider-Man outfit I wore once. Remember when I was like ripping out of
Yes.
it? That would
Oh my God, I
suck.
remember that. You couldn't even button it in the back.
No.
Well, if you were actually Spider-Man.
And it was like
Yeah, but I would have
capris.
been a fat, ugly Spider-Man.
Hey, fat, ugly Spider-Man is still better than not being
You
Spider-Man.
would
All right,
still
well
have
then-
Superman or Spider-Man powers.
What about when I was Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger? So that would be the worst one. Hey, you kids.
That's,
I was Meatwad. But remember,
Yeah.
Meatwad can like transform into
Formative
things.
they all have
Yeah.
superpowers. Even Carl has superpowers, right?
What?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
He never dies.
No, Carl doesn't. But Frylock has like laser eyes.
Yeah, Carl can't die.
Like he
All right.
dies, but he just comes back.
All right.
So
I guess that's handy.
Okay.
Which one's the one that throws? Oh, shake. When he
Shake.
like throws something
Explosive
and explodes.
stuff, yeah.
Can turn anything into a grenade. What a great show that was for one summer. All right, so second question is, what would be the best thing that you can think of to wear, Spider-Man?
Yeah, I would
Spider-Man's
want to
pretty
be
cool.
some kind
I
of a
would be Batman.
superhero.
Yeah,
Like some sort of superhero where I can like fly and be super strong.
cool.
I don't know. I think Ghost would be pretty cool too. Go through walls.
There you go.
Yeah. So what you guys? I mean, it seems like we all really liked this episode.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Going in, did you like this as much, or what did you guys think of this episode overall as far as the Buffy series? For me, I would say before I watched it today, it was, I would say, one of my top 10, and it still is.
Right on.
What do you guys think?
I would put it in my top 10. It's like right there with Hush, and there's another one
I
I,
don't know
can't
if
think
I'd
of
top
right now.
10, but definitely top 15 or 20. I don't think it'd make top 10.
So for me, what I liked about this episode so much is it establishes a lot moving forward. One of the things it establishes is it's the first time we see this global spell. So there's this world that Buffy has created, and there's a certain set of rules. This is the first time we see an episode where all those rules get changed. And for me, that was super exciting to see. It's like, wow, this is now a show that almost anything can happen. Well, we don't see Buffy this episode as the we're not all powerful, but super powerful Slayer. Xander's almost in charge. He's like the manly man, the combat dude. Everything gets turned on his head. And I really like those almost Freaky Friday style episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first one we see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, coming up, there's going to be a lot more of them. And it does definitely make for the best characterization episodes, too. Like having them turn into different people, having them lose their memories or whatever it is they're going through. And these types of episodes brings out a lot of other characteristics that are fun. Like going forward from now on, now Xander has military training that he has like in the back of his head, and stuff like that. That's just kind of fun and adds to their characters.
And I think this one makes Willow grow as a person in several ways. She has to take the lead and basically saves the day with the help of Giles.
Yeah.
She's the one that has to figures out what's going on with his help. And by the end, you see her get over her self-consciousness, at least for one night.
Yeah, at least for the walk home. And that's important because little man sees her.
Oh, yeah, and this is when like she really starts using her like super brainiac skills
Yeah,
to kind of piece things together.
definitely good stuff.
Because she kind of turns into like a reference for everything,
Yeah,
like over time. She's like the go-to.
she really does.
Her and Giles.
Encyclopedia Willow.
So I want to go back to one scene we skipped, which we all found pretty amusing. It was the bathroom scene with Buffy and Cordelia, where she says when it comes to dating, she's the Slayer.
Oh, man. Yeah. Cordelia looked really good in that cat outfit.
Oh, she looked amazing. But so there's like this big motif of Cordelia being, I don't know if, promiscuous, maybe hinting at it.
She's
right.
She's supposed to be perceived as like the hot, rich, sort of like man-eater. I don't know.
Yeah, like the girl that gets what she wants.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know if it's hinting at the fact that she's like, I'll just say this. They didn't really make a big deal about her losing her virginity.
No.
Like, they make this big deal out of Buffy, but Cordelia, they never even talk about it. And like an angel, like the first thing that happens, she gets impregnated by a demon.
And I never really thought of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it gets her. Yeah, she's got a bad rep.
Oh man.
I never really thought of this idea of Cordelia as
What if from now on you just added Elia to everything you said because you're so in love with Cordelia?
I never really thought of her when I was originally watching the show. I don't know how many years ago as like promiscuous or this idea, but it's weird seeing her now, and it's not even subtle. I think they're kind of almost shoving it in your face with these little hints, and I don't know. It's just something I never noticed that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Or is it just? I think it's more of a my actual answer is that Cordelia is not very good at many things. Her best thing is to take charge of situations by belittling people, and controlling men is her way of taking, like, I don't know. It's her thing. Like having guys swoon over her.
Her thing is using her sexuality to like control situations, to like
Exactly.
manipulate things.
Exactly. And I'm not sure if she's really meaning to take it as far as being like, I have sex with all these dudes. But she just uses that to get what she wants.
She's teasingly flirtatious.
Yes.
It's the little carrot.
Yeah, but I still have no idea what the big leagues mean.
Who knows, man?
Come over and we're going to chew big league bubble gum. Like a whole pack. That's what that means.
So, Shannon, you brought up some of the outfits during the show.
Oh, the 90s. Oh, man. I wouldn't have dressed like that at all, though.
No.
I wanted baggy
You were like
pants.
a little chola.
Baggy pants, tank tops, hemp necklaces.
We used to call you guys the Lolos
Lolo.
girls. The Lolos girls. Just like Cholita girls. Even though it's not your personality at all. You're like the
Not
sweetest
at all.
person in the world. Oh, why was it so cool to be so mean? Like,
I don't know.
Like not mean,
I
but
think-
mean looking.
I think me and Michelle at the time just hung out with some hood rats.
It's good stuff.
So, do you want to see? Would you like to see more Jinkos in Sunnydale at the time?
Yeah. Well, and you do see it like in a few later episodes. I remember
Do you?
seeing some baggy jeans. Yeah.
I don't remember Jinko specifically.
I don't remember Jinkos, but I remember baggy jeans. But yeah, Jinkos would be, pretty accurate.
But you can't fight vampires in Jinkos.
You can't, but
I don't know, man. Buffy's fought.
I didn't
in a
see any
lot of
vampires
things.
coming back in
Yeah.
Jinkos.
Instead of cutting that dress with those scissors in that one scene, she does that. She could cut the Jinkos.
Oh, what's
Make some
Xander's
pull
best
apart
friend?
Jinkos?
Jesse.
Jesse.
He looks like he
Oh,
could be
yeah.
wearing some
He
Yeah,
would
Jinkos.
totally-
totally.
Jesse would
He
totally
would've
wear
totally,
Jinkos.
totally worn Jinkos. And what happened to Xander's skateboard?
He just dropped that shit.
That was just one episode, one and done. No.
That was like the first.
Skate or die, man. It's the 90s.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with that sort of stuff. Like, I just chalk it up to being teenagers. It's like, they just stopped doing that.
Yep.
One year they're doing this, the next year they're doing something else.
Yeah.
Crazy kids.
He has a freaking hoverboard.
Man. Well, do you have anything else to say about this episode? Or do you want to go over the kills?
I really, really just want to say how much I enjoyed it. It was just a damn good episode. It was a good Buffy episode all around. Mm-hmm. I feel like we are out of the first season. I feel like we're out of the muck and we're getting into the good stuff now.
It's definitely the best we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what I meant to say, and I totally forgot about it when she said it. There was like a one-liner that she said, and I could have sworn it was one of the things she used to say in her video game that you guys used to play, and I can't remember it now.
Geoff was the only one that played that game.
Oh, but there was...
There was
I
a couple.
I never
I don't
played that
remember,
one.
But
though.
there was one that she used to say in the video game in this episode.
I don't
I'll
remember.
go back and watch it maybe, and then I'll let you know.
Okay. You should let us know for sure.
Okay.
That game was horrible.
Which one, though? Was it the one with I like the one where they're at the magic box. That one was cool.
Yeah, that's the one you played. I tried playing it. I just could not get into it. Only vampire game I've ever been into is Vampire the Masquerade. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Love that game.
Never played any Castlevanias?
Yeah. They were too hard for me. I'm too dumb.
All right, so the kills, unless you got anything else.
Kills. Let's do the kills.
We only got one kill this episode.
Who was it?
It was the beginning vampire.
The pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
And then the creepy vampire filming it.
So for everything that happened in that episode, there wasn't many kills.
That was it.
Technically, Willow died and came back to life.
Oh.
Did she, though?
Well, she goes, I can't breathe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
She falls
she
down
does.
dead. Her ghost comes out of her.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, two deaths, one resurrection. The cancels.
Did they ever
one
bring
death?
that up then? If, like, she actually died and came back, that should be, like, a major thing.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, it was for Buffy.
I guess not so much
Hey,
for Willow.
I wonder if, like, okay, I won't say anything because I don't want to ruin anything. Or can I say things
Yeah,
about
say
future
things.
episodes?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if they ever talk about it later on when they count the times that she's died and come back or whatever.
Huh. For Willow? Do they ever do that for Willow?
No.
They do that for Buffy.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah,
so.
for Buffy, yeah.
But they don't ever count how many times Willow died
Willow,
because she's
yeah.
never really died.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking one episode, but she doesn't really die in it. She just kind of transforms into something else.
Huh.
Alrighty.
Well, what was it again? 4th and long. Where are you going to throw?
Nope.
Monster trucks. And I'm coming back. I'm coming at you. I'm going to drive. Daryl's going to drive. Right?
No.
Okay.
What is that?